Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge, and it's time to do another book haul, okay? This one I've been putting off for a little while, alright? Because I kept waiting for more books to come in. Well, if I keep waiting for more books to come in, we'll never get to a book haul. So we're doing it, and it's gonna be a little chaotic because yeah, it just is. But you know what? You're here for the fun. You're here to see all the crazy stuff that I will maybe never get to, but who knows? So we will start with some gifts that I got. I think we'll start there. And then we'll do some new releases that I got. And then we'll just see where we end up. But these are 90% historical romances that I've hauled, but there is some fun ones in here. So let's start with some gifts that I got. So first thing, I got a gift from one of my followers. These are from my channel member Bailey, who on a recent video where I did my 7K Q&A, I was asked what is a subgenre that I wish I tried more of, and I said romantic suspense. And so she was kind enough to send me 3 that she thought had enough romance in them that they'll keep me interested, as well as she really liked the plot. So, and you guys actually voted on which one of these you wanted me to try. And so I am actually almost halfway done with Say You're Sorry by Karen Rose. We don't have the time in this video for me to like tell you what all of these books are about. You'll have to wait until I read it and I'll talk about it in a wrap up, because this just isn't going to be that kind of book haul. If you guys are new here, my book hauls usually have a lot of books, so I don't have time. But Bailey, thank you so much for this gift. It was so sweet. I'm definitely intrigued by this, right? I'm still reading it. I'm actually listening along to it on my Libby app. I found this book in my library, and it is going good so far. Then there is also Closer Than You Think, which has a step back, but it's kind of creepy. Just as every family has secrets. And then Pretend You're Safe by Alexandra Ivy. So I got these 3, and as I said, I am currently working on this one. So I'm going to put it back up here because that one doesn't need to go away. So you'll see me too fidget around. This is my book haul shelf, or my book haul cart, which is usually in my room, and then when I have a haul I can easily move it from room to room. All the books didn't even fit on one cart. It was crazy. Then I also got a gift from my beautiful friend Tara. She has a channel called Tara North, but she also, wow, that squirrel has a mouthful of nuts. He just sat up and stared at me. But she also has a podcast called Read My Lips, which I have been blessed enough to be on twice. And she sent me a book from my wish list. This one is Summer is for Lovers by Jennifer Mcquisten. Now, I read the first book in this series and I wasn't a huge fan, but I have these on my wish list for a reason, because I am intrigued with more of them. I really love the step back for this one. These are Scottish, I think. And I believe he ends up like washed up, but he's a Scotsman. I don't know, but this whole series seemed really interesting to me. They're a little bit based off of like movies, I think was the thing, because the first one was What Happens in Scotland, and it was kind of like the Hangover / like Getting Married in Vegas type of thing. And I don't know what this one's based on, but anyway, the line of the thing says teach me, but I got these. I might as well show this quick too. I have another Jennifer Mcquisten that I picked up because the cover was just so cool. It's called The Spinster's Guide to Scandalous Behavior. And I just love that. I found this at the used bookstore, but I figured let's just talk about hers. So Jennifer Mcquisten, I definitely am going to give 3 tries to, because the book that I read was her first book at all. And I think that, you know, I have some grace. Definitely have some grace for that when it's a first book. And then these were a gift, but I won a giveaway on TikTok from D. Garcia, who I have actually read one of her books before, and it happened to be one of the ones that she sent me. So what it was is I entered a giveaway on TikTok, and it was to win 3 random signed paperbacks by her. And so I got Venom, which is one that I read. This is like a Peter Pan retelling. I think this one is actually This one is Hook and Tink. Yeah, it's Tinks and Hook. And I haven't read the second one in this Realm series, but I read this book a long time ago when it was like part of kind of these releasing of like Twisted Fairy Tales and stuff. So I won that. Then I won Jagger by D. Garcia. Well, they're all by her. And then this one, which is Volatile Obsessions, which I just need to read. So look at the cover of this book. This is very D. Garcia vibe. But yeah, I definitely want to try these. So yeah, so those were books that I got as gifts. You know, these are probably going to go right on the dark romance shelf. So we'll just stack them back there so that I can find a place for them. Okay, so let's go through some new releases real quick that I have. I grabbed A Rogue to Remember by Emily Sullivan. I picked this one up because Crystal really loved it. She read an arc of this one. I am not a huge fan of the paperback like plus size. Because I feel like it's a way to like charge us more money, and I hate this size, but the book is really beautiful. I love the cover. I love the chest hair and like her dress and the pearls. And I believe this one is a childhood like friends to lovers situation. Then I picked up my copy of The Intimacy Experiment by Rosie Dannon. I got to read an arc of this book and I loved it so much. So much more than the first one. And I love it so much, and I want everyone to read this book. This is about a former adult entertainer and a rabbi and their love story. And it's great. Like, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Then I picked up Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. I'm still a stan for some YA authors. This is the exclusive Barnes & Noble edition. So it has this cover, which like matches the King of Scars one. I love it. I'm really scared to read this, but I am excited for the TV show. I'm excited to see where this world goes. And so I don't know when I'll get to this. I hope to get to it soon. I might try to find the audiobook because that's how I mostly consume books these days, but there's that. And then this one, I think this is a new release, but mostly, I'm not going to lie to you, I 100% bought this for how it looks, and I think that it might even be a middle grade. I don't know what age range it's for. Yeah, it says junior, so I don't know if it's middle grade or whatever. Okay, it looks like it's from this year, but it's so fucking beautiful that I don't care. So this is Oddity by Eli Brown. Just like look at the details. The snake, and there is like these different things on the edge, and then like it's gold foil, and it says fire burns, ice melts, unless you have an oddity. So I'm assuming it's a world where people have magical things going on, and there are like illustrations inside. So it's at least YA, but there's like, look at this like creepy doll. But I walked by it on the table and I was like, you know what? I am a book nerd down to my soul for beautiful things. So even if I never buy this book, it is fucking gorgeous. And like every other cover buy I've ever did, I did it and I don't care. I don't care. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay. All right. Where do we go next? Oh yes, these ones. Okay. So now I have the, well, I'll show this real quick too. In the same day that I like bought those books, I also grabbed another edition of Pride and Prejudice. I like collecting pretty vibes of this. I only have like 3 or 4 copies of this. I have like 3 or 4 copies of Jane Eyre. Whenever they get like a pretty cover, I just had to grab it. So this one has peacock feathers and it's beautiful. And it is it's a Signature Classics. So I think it's a Barnes & Noble one. So I had to grab that. All right, then these are some self-pub books that I picked up. I finally bought Pucked, the deleted scenes and outtakes, the Area 51. So this is just a little like, it just has like 4 different outtake scenes. And I've been wanting it. And when I did an order on Thrift Books, I just finally grabbed this book because I love this series and I wanted it. I finally bought a copy of Dead Man Walking by Jana Darling. A couple of my friends were finally reading this book and they loved it. And like, I love it. This book is 6-star for me. I think it was my like first 6-star of the year. I love Priest and Bee so much. And so I was like, I need a copy of this one. It's a thick bitch, but I love Priest so much. And so I had to buy a copy of this one, and like the dripping knives inside and stuff. So this was definitely worth it. I just had to have it. This goes on the dark shelf too. I bought the other 2 Filthy Feckers that I was missing. So I was given 2 of these by my friend for my birthday, and she gave me 2 and 4. And so I needed 1 and 3. And so there's Filthy, one of my favorite mob series I've ever read by Serena Ackroyd, and then book 3 as well. So now I'll be able to complete that up top. That's my Mafia is like all up top here, up there. So I'll finish that off. When I recently put out my Nikki Sloan video, which you guys were really loving too, I'm missing a couple of the books. Like my Nikki Sloan shelf is right there. And so I'm collecting the rest of those. So there's 3 Dirty Secrets and 3 Sweet Nothings by her. So that's fun. And then I picked up A Wilderness Within by Emma Castle. So this is a pandemic book, which I feel bad for this book because Emma actually wrote this book. She wrote this book in 2019. And she started writing it about 6 months before that all happened. And she continued it and put it out. And like, I know that for some people it's still too close to home and like that's a thing, but this is book 2 in her Unlikely Hero series, which it isn't connected with is it A Deal with the Devil or Midnight with the Devil, but I wanted to own it and I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to try reading this one, even though I understand the taboo of reading this at the time, but like, bitch, I bust through taboos. I'll be okay. But I'm really excited to read everything that Emma Castle has written because I really enjoy her books. Okay. All right. Here are some used, like, that aren't historical, because I think once we get to those, then pretty much everything's historical. So I went to Ferguson's, which is a new and used bookstore in my town. They're not my favorite. They're getting better. In fact, I'll show you some that I got from them. We'll get to it in just a minute. But they have new and used books there. And if you buy a new book, you get a used book for free. And I went there. And I bring them my books because they don't have like any romance mass markets. They have like other romance, but not that. And so I stocked up on a few when I was there. Or I stock them up on some when I go there. But here, this is a YA book. And again, I totally bought it for the cover. Completely did. It is called Revenge and the Wild by Michelle Modisto. And just look at this cover. This girl walking down this corridor and it's like burning. And on the back it says, a dying magic, a miraculous invention, a long-awaited payback. Revenge has never been this deserved. And like, I buy these YA and I don't read them, but someday I'll go through a phase again where I want to read YA. I hope. And this one, again, it's just so beautiful, and it was only $3, so I grabbed it. Then I grabbed one that, it was funny because it said new on it, but then when I looked, this book is from 2013, and it's a Wattpad book, and it says the sexiest romance you'll read this year, from 2015, and it's called The Dark Heroine, Dinner with a Vampire by Abigail Gibbs. And so I was like, well, if it's sexy and with a vampire, I want to try it. And somehow I never saw this one. So did you read this when it came out? Have you read it? Like, tell me your thoughts, like non-spoilery. Like, tell me your thoughts of this because I'm intrigued. I'm going through a vampire phase right now. It's great. So tell me if you've read this. And then I grabbed The Manny by Holly Peterson. I love male nannies, and I love that they like have to explain what it is. And this is a working mom who has a husband, and it must be that her husband is going to cheat on her, or else this isn't going to go too good. But I was just like, oh, that looks cool. That's one of the things about Ferguson's is it gets me to look at books in a different way because they have such limited options, but I still want to support this bookstore and make sure that they're successful. And so hopefully there eventually will be books there that I want. So it's a process. Like when you live in rural areas, you have to do what you have to do to support what you have. So that's what I do. All right, then, oh, I forgot about these. I did pick up Kushal's Dart by Jacqueline Carey. This book is also on Anyplay, so I'm probably going to listen to it and not read it. But this was recommended by Pam Godwin as like, that it's like this BDSM fantasy series. And I've heard mixed reviews, but Pam Godwin said she's very inspired by this series. And it's her series that she reads over and over and over again. So when she had her interview with some of my friends, I was like, boom, buying it. And then when I went to Barnes & Noble the next day, I ended up finding it there. So I was like, all right, I'll scoop it up. And it's in the fantasy section, but supposedly it's pretty sexy. So we'll see. It's a big ass book. This is like Wheel of Time size. So we'll see. And then when I was at my favorite bookstore, I got to stop at my favorite used bookstore. So now most of these are going to be from some of those. So I did pick up One Night Promised and One Night Denied because I believe these are about a male escort. I don't know that, but when I was making my escort video, which will be coming out soon, if it's not, it should already be out, I saw this book on that list. So I believe that it's a male escort, but I don't know that for a fact, but we'll see. I'm gonna try it anyway. All right, now we're just going to start going through these used books, and they're kind of just wherever they are. So first I'm going to start with books that are, I already own them, but I like upgraded copies, or by authors that like I'm filling it in. So at that Ferguson bookstore, as I said, I found a couple books that were from, where'd it go? What's that box called? They're from Bay Crate. So I found a beautiful copy of My Darling Duke, like without the spine craft, and it had an art print in it. That's from Bay Crate. So this is an art print of Alexander and Kitty. So that's so cute. I was like, that's great. And also this copy is perfect, and the one that I got is a little beat up. So I grabbed that. Where are these ones that I'm talking about? There's another one too. Okay, here we go. I also got Starbreaker by Amanda Bouchette. And this one also had a Bay Crate photo inside. So that was so cute. I was like, I love that there is cute, like cute art for a paperback. That was so fun. And then I also upgraded copies of Breath of Fire and Heart of Fire because the copies that I got from thrift books were absolutely trashed. One of them literally had been like shredded almost. And so these will replace those horrible copies. And I mean, I'm going to have to throw them out. Like I'm not even going to donate them. That's how messed up they are. So I already own those ones. I upgraded a Romancing the Duke. The one that I have is like almost broken. So there is a classic Tessa Dare there. Then I upgraded a bunch of Lisa Kleypas. So I found a beautiful copy of It Happened One Autumn. And this is Lillian and Marcus. A beautiful copy of Cold Hearted Rake. A beautiful copy of Love in the Afternoon. And my favorite thing I found a hardcover of Secrets of a Summer Night with the step back on the back. Ooh. Most of Lisa Kleypas that I found don't have the step back on the back. because I do have most of the Robinells in hardcover, and they only show the man like on the side because they have the woman on the front and just the man on the side. So for this one to have them on the back is really cool. Then I grabbed some Eloisa James that I was actually, well, I thought I was missing both of them. But here's the thing. I use an app to track my books, but that only works if I remember to enter them all into my phone. And so I'm trying to collect the Eloisa Jameses that I'm missing. And I already had a Wild Pursuit. And I thought that I had a Wild Pursuit. But when I checked on my phone, it showed that I didn't have it. But that's okay. So there's this one. And then I grabbed Your Wicked Ways, which I didn't have. And this one is sexy. And then Desperate Duchesses, which doesn't have a step back, but I was missing that one too. Then we have our Elizabeth Hoyts. So I'm trying to do something. I currently own all of the Elizabeth Hoyt, but I had 4 of them. Someone is pulling away. And their lights are pointed at me. You could leave now. Thanks. Bye. But I wanted the ones with step backs because step backs are life for me. So I was able to find 2 copies of Maiden Lane book number 6 that had the step back. Thankfully, I got one that didn't have a sticker over his face. So I have this one. And then I was able to find a Notorious Pleasures that has this beautiful boat scene. And I was able to find a Duke of Pleasure that has this. But I've already received 2 of my Thief of Shadows, and neither one has a step back. But I still have 2 more of this one coming. And 2 more of the other ones coming. Because yes, I did buy 3 copies. Well, this one I bought 4 copies of because I want it so badly. So these will get donated, redonated back. But I only spent like $30. And for 4 books, I bought like 10 copies total. So some of them I ordered more than others. But out of the 6, I ended up with 3 that have what I want on it. And now I feel better because I freaking love this series. And I need step backs of all of them. So it's worth it to me. Then I picked up a bunch of Stephanie Lawrence that I was missing or else other copies of. I already have a Captain Jack's Woman, but I have the reprint of it. This one, I just love how this looks. I'm very excited. This is the first of the Bastion Club, and well, I still have quite a few Sinster books to read. I eventually want to start the Bastion Club, especially because Jessin hasn't read that series either, so we could be reading it together. And this is like the prequel / like first one in this series. And I believe it's her first book ever. Oh, no. I think it was, man. Was Devil's Bride first? No, I think this was her first book. I could be wrong, but there we go. Then I picked up A Taste of Innocence, Temptation and Surrender, To Distraction, ooh. Where the Heart Leads, this is a good one, and A Fine Passion, this one. That one's going to make its turn on Step Back Saturday. Woof. So, adding to my Stephanie Lawrence collection. All right, now we're just going through some randos, I think. Still got lots more, guys. Don't leave yet. Only One by Elizabeth Lowell, or Only Mine. I finally found a beautiful copy of Lions and Lace by Megan Kinney. This has been being recommended to me so much, and I love the step back. It's so beautiful. I'm very excited to give this one a try because people seem very excited for me too. I picked up some Rosemary Rogers. Rosemary Rogers has really beautiful step backs, so I grabbed it. The Tea Planter's Bride, which I've definitely seen this one on Bookstagram. Midnight Lady. Look at this. And then this one is just a really old one. It says Wicked Loving Lies. And it looks like it might be a pirate book. But it's got red, which is cool. Oh yeah, here's the other one. I bought this at a different store, but it's the Only You by her. And this one, he's got the mustache and the pearls. That's right. I got those at 2 different times, but I got them all. Gillian Hunter, The Sinful Nights of a Nobleman. Jill Gregory, Rough Wrangler, Tender Kisses. I just loved his cowboy jam there. I finally got a copy of One Night is Never Enough by Anne Malory. This is the only Anne Malory book I've read. And it was the only one I didn't own. But I definitely want to read more of her. She's been on my list a few times. I just haven't bit the bullet for this one. But I really love this book. Connie Mason, Ice and Rapture. The Black Swan by Day Taylor. Trouble at the Wedding by Laura Lee Gerke. The Trouble with Being a Duke by Sophie Barnes. I love so much about this. He's wearing a mask. She's holding a mask. Couple Kathy Maxwell. We have Lion's Bride. A Date at the Altar. Mad About the Duke by Elizabeth Boyle. How I Met a Countess by Elizabeth Boyle. I love her dress in this one. And Jewel by Beverly Jenkins. I'm slowly collecting Beverly Jenkins. I picked up some Teresa Medeiros because she had crazy beautiful step backs, and also I'm reading one of her books in May for Rake Appreciation Society, for May's Rake Appreciation Society, and she has some paranormal historicals, and I want them in my life. So there's Breath of Magic, and this one doesn't have a step back, which is a bummer because it looks like it's a good one, but this one is a witchy one. And I just wanted it in my life. A Whisper of Roses. Lady of Conquest. And Heather and Velvet, which is like, I feel like it's a double step back because there's the beautiful front and then it also has this one. So it's like twice the fun. I found, oh, here's the other one. Eris Gone Wild by Laura Lee Gerke. I love that she's like ripping his clothes off. A Fire in the Blood by Cheryl Henke. This one I just did as my step back Saturday, like the day that I bought this book because it was so gorgeous. Bride of Fortune by Cheryl Henke. Look at it. It's so perfect. It's so perfect. An Inconvenient Duke by Anna Harrington. I've heard great things about this one. For All Eternity. Okay, so this one is a paranormal historical by Linda Lale Miller, but it's a female vampire. I feel like the female is never a vampire, so I'm very intrigued by this. This one doesn't have a super great step back, it's just that, but I'm very intrigued by that. A couple Eugenia Riley's. These are gorgeous. This one, I can't get the sticker off without just destroying it, so it's staying here. But this one is Time Swept Bride. This one is a time travel romance. I have read a few of the time travel romances, and I've liked them. This one also is. This one says A Tryst in Time by Eugenia Riley, and this one's in like beautiful condition, and I just love this. I actually went through a phase very early booktube career where I read a bunch of the like time lost in time ones, and they were kind of fun. Kat Martin's Bold Angel. Ooh, snap. Full page, baby. Full page. Oh, so tender. Oh, here's another Teresa Medeiros, Thief of Hearts. I think this is in the same series as the other one. There we go. And then I had a fun little find. So, I was missing one of Eva Leigh's books. So this one is Forever Your Earl, The Wicked Quills of London, which I've actually read, but I didn't have this one. And then at one of my favorite bookstores, I happened to find her Zoe Archer pen name, which is funny because right around the time that we were interviewing her, she got like outed as Eva Leigh being the same writer as Zoe Archer. And so I know that she used to write books under this name, but I'd never looked them up. I've only read the Eva Leigh titled books. And then I was looking for some Jennifer Ashley books, and I happened to like be going through the stack, and I saw Zoe Archer, and I picked this book up, and the back of this book says this. I'm actually going to read the back of this one because it's the last one, because it's super interesting, but also I just love that it's a baby Eva Leigh who wrote this. So it says this: to Lady Olivia Xavier, the cowboy who came to her rescue out of the foggy London dusk could have stepped straight from one of her favorite dime novels. But when she was thrown into his arms, his solid chest and strong embrace assured her he was very real indeed. She needed a helping hand to save her late husband's brewery from an ambitious rival, and even though she couldn't understand half of the American's curious expressions, something in his gentle touch told Olivia she could trust this stranger from the untamed West. As a Colorado cowpuncher, Will Coffin had never before encountered a genuine lady, especially one trying to stave off 3 hoodlums with only a reticule. He'd been through some mighty sticky situations back in the U.S., but nothing had hog-tied him as effectively as Olivia's big violet eyes, beseeching him for help. He'd come to England to find his family, certainly not for highfalutin tea parties or any other so-called society trappings, but he was being trapped all right. With her oh-so-English ways, Olivia had lassoed his heart until all he could think of was becoming Lady X's cowboy. I really want to read this. I want to read this. It seems so cheesy, but I also think it could be really good because I love the idea. I love the idea of a cowboy in London in 1880s. Like, I love the thought of that so much. So, yeah. All right. Well, guys, that is my huge book haul. I actually made it through a little faster than I thought, but I didn't dilly-dally. We didn't dilly-dally. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this. I put out new videos 3 to 4 times a week. You can check out my playlists. I have many of these book hauls if you want to check it out. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.